Today we got our first glimpse of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, and I have to say, it's already looking really crazy. First off, we have the Wanderer, who is a super mysterious planeswalker that has somehow appeared in the futuristic version of Kamigawa. And even crazier than that, we have Ratmen riding motorcycles. And that, honestly, is a phrase I never thought I would say in regards to Magic the Gathering.
Magic. History. I'm an old wizard! The magic historian. My bones hurt.
Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles, my friends. I hope the day finds you well because we have gathered to talk about our first glimpse of Kamigawa. A number of images, product shots have come out, giving us a window into the world of Kamigawa's future. And I have to say, it's looking pretty wild. Now, before we dive into that, because I am super hyped, and to counterpoint the futuristic nature of this, just want to let you know that we have the Brothers War lore series going on over on my Fantasy Geographic channel. It is the most epic storyline in all of Magic's history. You're not going to want to miss it. So I'm going to leave a link to it at the end of the video on screen and down in the comments below. Now, let us turn our attention back to Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. So, this is the Kamigawa of the future. If my information is not muddled, we are looking at essentially 1,000 years from the previous Kamigawa. So it's 1,000 years in the future, and we're going to be dealing with more of a cyberpunkish, Shadowrun-ish kind of world, which I do have to admit, I am not accustomed to. I prefer Magic to be like the swords and sorcery style of things, so this Kamigawa stuff is going to take a bit of adjustment. Now, the good news is I do actually like things like Shadowrun and other futuristic kind of concepts, so it's just really a bit of a mind shift. Now, the first thing I want to look at is the poster that was sent out to the stores, and if you've actually seen the video I put out a couple days ago, you will recognize part of this poster, right? Because it was used for the Platinum and Silver Edition advertising for Kamigawa. And if you don't know about that, I'll leave a link to that video at the end of this one as well. So, this poster is pretty straightforward. Ultimately, it is a samurai on a pink background. Actually, I really like this artwork, and it made me wonder if perhaps my initial thoughts about Kamigawa were a little off base, because when I looked at it, I'm like, okay, you know what? This just looks like a samurai done in a like rose petal, not rose blossom, cherry blossom, in a cherry blossom kind of styling, right? Like, I actually really enjoy this artwork quite a bit. And pink is admittedly an interesting choice that we don't normally see a lot associated with Magic the Gathering, which really gives it that differentiation, right? Oh, neon pink! I actually used to have a neon pink Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle hat back in the day, because I have always been a fashionable man. And anyhow, that's the poster. Wanted to get that out of the way because the product packaging is way more exciting. So let us move on, first of all, to the bundle box, okay? So, this is the bundle for Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. Obviously, they are continuing along the same line of having them with set boosters, so it's 8 set boosters instead of 10 draft boosters, if you weren't already aware. But clearly, the most interesting part of this is the fact that that is the Wanderer in this artwork. There is just too many points of data that come together to say this has to be the Wanderer. First of all, when you just take a look at the physical like objects that are shown in the artwork, right? The exact same styling of hat that we saw on the Wanderer before. The Wanderer is a newer planeswalker to us. We have no idea how long she's actually been around, but she is a newer character introduced into Magic the Gathering during War of the Spark, and there are some very distinctive things about her. First of all, she's a hardcore sword wielder, so she will have a sword blade with her. She has the hat that she's wearing, that's her distinctive style hat, although in the War of the Spark, I believe it was more of a straw style, and this one actually kind of gives me the metallic, almost like a Captain America shield when I look at it, right? So those are the distinctive elements of the Wanderer that immediately jump out at you. The white hair, the hat, the sword. There's also the fact that Wizards of the Coast very much likes to feature Planeswalkers on its product packaging, right? Because Planeswalkers tend to be the faces of the set. They're the heroes that people identify with and want to be like, or, everybody has their own favorite Planeswalkers. Some people are like, I love Liliana. Other people are like, I love Jace. Give me some of Johnny. Whatever it is, people really do connect with Planeswalkers. So Wizards of the Coast prominently puts them in the artwork. Now, for me, I'm genuinely interested as to what the Wanderer is doing here. At first, when they came up with the Wanderer, they just went, she's a mystery. And I was kind of like, about it. I looked at it and go, okay, she's a mystery, but what are you going to really say to pull me in and get me interested? And now there's just enough details about her that I am curious, that I want to know more, right? Because the idea behind the Wanderer is, unlike every other Planeswalker, she is incredibly attuned into the Blind Eternities, but also in a way cursed by them. So she has the ability to track other Planeswalkers through the Blind Eternities. If you don't know what the Blind Eternities are, they're essentially, that's the space between planes of existence. So if you go from Dominaria to Kamigawa, to get there, you travel through the Blind Eternities. So the Wanderer has the ability to see who's actually traveled through the Blind Eternities, like follow their paths and things like that. But at the same time, she also is cursed, so that if she doesn't maintain focus, she will automatically be pulled into the Blind Eternities and cast into another plane. So for every other Planeswalker, they have to expend energy and focus on planeswalking away with differing levels of ease, right? But the Wanderer is the opposite. The Wanderer literally has to stay focused on staying where she is, or she auto planeswalks away. She has no control over that. So if she gets knocked out, she falls asleep, anything like that, then she will wake up on another plane of existence, possibly having traveled through a bunch while she was unconscious, which is a really cool concept. You have a being with incredible powers, but at the same time, they have a significant curse that can make existence very difficult for you. Every time you go to sleep, if you're not going to wake up in the same place, that's a big deal. So what is she doing on Kamigawa? Did she just end up there and decide to stick around? Is it something actually like integral to her character? Are we going to get more details about it, or are they always just going to leave this character as she's a mystery? Do you know what I mean? Like, I am interested to see her in this situation because it appears they're going to be giving her a prominent role. Although, I guess I do want to put a disclaimer out there. Don't take what I'm saying automatically as given, because Wizards of the Coast does sometimes just shunt planeswalkers into sets without really caring about how they fit into the story or whatever. So, my hope is that the Wanderer is going to be a key element in this Kamigawa storyline. We'll see what happens in that regard. Now, let's move on to the craziest thing that we have to look at, and that is the collector booster boxes. Because like I said, Ratmen riding motorcycles. That's what we have here. Now, the image isn't like, when I try and blow it up, it just gets blurrier, so I can't really get too deep into the details with the image. I can't 100% tell if these Ratmen are supposed to be like regular beings or if they are cybernetically augmented. I don't know if these are like cyborg Ratmen, robotic Ratmen, or pure like just flesh Ratmen, but these are the Nezumi of Kamigawa, right? These were the skulking thieves and ninjas and assassins of the old Kamigawa, and now they travel around on like motorcycles. It's a pretty crazy concept. When you look at the artwork there, it's nuts. You've got this Nezumi with his gigantic weapon. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be like a can of something he was drinking that he just tossed aside. I don't need this brew anymore. And he just whipped it on the road. But you can see his motorcycle has like this crazy demonic skull face, and the wheels of it are shooting up like magical fire. And it makes me wonder, do they travel around in gangs like this? Is this supposed to be a distinctive special character with his distinctive special motorcycle? Or is this just supposed to be what we find roving around in gangs? Now, this to me is the biggest departure we have ever seen in a main Magic the Gathering set in terms of like moving away from the swords and sorcery style fantasy that Magic is well known for. So I will admit, I'm still having some trouble fully wrapping my head around it. It's going to take me a little bit probably to shift into cyborg Kamigawa historian, but whatever. I'm going to try and enjoy myself with this and not take it too seriously, because at the end of the day, it's a game we're all going to play. I know that some people are going to be unhappy about this, and I can understand your discontent, but for me, I'm just going to try and have a good time. So, big thank you to all of my patrons. Shout out to Alex Johnson for joining the Patreon. You'll see your name at the end of the scroll. Thanks, buddy. And yeah, like I said, links up on the screen for the lore video. Go watch what you want to watch, and I'll see you guys next time.